Hello, Seann Parker here, Behavior Self-Awareness Coach from Vancouver, BC. I recently had one of my clients come to me and I was aware that she was struggling with her self-worth, how she perceived herself. And she felt like she couldn't do anything right. She, in her words, felt like a bit of a loser. And it was sort of directed at herself. And she struggled because she felt stuck for a long time, didn't know how to move herself from that. And during the course of the conversation with her, I realized that part of the issue for her was that she had actually given power to someone else. And what had happened was she had someone in her life, a family member, who she loved and who loved her very much, who she respected her opinion. And what we found was that the opinion that she was getting was incredibly negative all the time. And she was actually, when we talked about it, quite bitter about the situation, that she felt she wasn't supported or loved. And what it had turned into was she didn't believe that she actually had the ability to make choices, successful choices, to move her life ahead, to the point where she was taking other people's opinion, those close to her, and that was what she was using to try and create success in her life with her choices. So where I want to sort of go with this right now is if you have negative people in your life, you have people who you tend to shut down or don't listen to because every time they open their mouth, it's what's wrong, how that's never going to work, what a bad choice it is, you've done this before. And I want you to try and rephrase how you perceive what they're saying or how you're taking that information in. The first thing I want to tell you is that those people in your life, if I could sit down with them and I could listen to them for a couple minutes, if I looked them in the eye and I said, you know, you are an incredibly negative person, they'd be horrified. They would be shocked that anybody could perceive who they were as a person as negative, because in their mind, they're not. See, what they're actually doing, especially for the people they care about, the people that they love, is that what they want to do is they want to protect those people. It's a bit of a control thing, but what they really want to do is protect the people around them. So what they do is they want to tell you everything that can go wrong. You want to start something new in your life. You go to you go to these people who say, hey, I've got a great idea. I think this is what I want to do. This is the direction I want to go. And the first thing out of their mind is, oh, I don't know about that. You know, I talked to somebody a while ago and this happened and it went sideways on them and they got hurt. And everything that comes out of their mouth is what's going to go wrong and why it won't work. So you become deflated and you walk away. And after a while, you just listen to what they say and it's not going to work. See, what that person is actually trying to do is they're afraid to tell you all the good stuff. What they believe that their job is, especially if this is a parent or a partner or a husband or wife or a boyfriend, is that if they can tell you everything that could go wrong in that situation, they've done their job. Now you're not going to get blindsided. The problem with that is they get into a cycle, and what they do is all they ever tell you is what's going to go wrong. What's bad about this? To them, they're doing a good job. They're protecting the people they care about. You know, you've said, I'm really excited about this, I want to do this, and they go, you know, don't do this. It's just not going to work. And when you don't do it, they feel like they've given you good advice, and what they've done is they've protected you. Well, what they've done is they've pulled the rug out from under you, and the risk that you needed to take, the lesson that you needed to take, that was going to cause you to grow as a person, has been pulled away. And the more often that you let someone pull that lesson away from you, the more often you start to believe you don't have the ability to grow. You don't have the ability to learn. I want you to listen to those people, and I want you to listen in your heart, and I want you to listen with love. I want you to hear them and realize they're just trying to protect me. They're not really trying to hurt me, because what you hear when they speak is negativity. You listen to your mom or your dad or your brother or partner or whatever, And every time they open their mouth, they're just negative. And you say to yourself, that's just a negative person. They're not. They're loving and kind and supportive. So here's a tool I want you to use. When you have people in your life, whether it's somebody close to you or not, or somebody who's just having a bad day that you work with, I want you to pause and I want you to ask this question in your head mentally. Don't say it out loud because they may think you're crazy. I want you to ask this question in your head. Is this about me or is this about her? Is this about me or is this about him? Is this about me or is this about them? Pause. There's two questions in there. Is it about me or is it about them? I don't really care about the second question at this point. I just want your brain's an information gathering, question answering machine, and when you ask it a question, it has to answer. Ask, is this about me or is this about her? And your brain's going to say, no, this isn't about me. And what will happen quite often, especially when you first start to do this, you will actually feel a weight lift off of your shoulders. It'll feel like something's actually been removed. And what this is there's an assumption you've been living with these people. And the assumption was that they know more than I do. You've been giving away your power. You've been giving away the right to choose your own way in your life. You've been giving it to them. And what you've just done is you've just recognized, I have the ability. This was never about me. Now, you can't make a statement. When you make a statement and you just say, if you get lazy in the future and you say, oh, that's all about them, there was no question there. There's no growth with a statement. With a statement, you might as well nail your shoes to the floor and stay where you are. I've taken a position and this is who I am, this is what it is. I'm right. Well, you're not always right. So you've got to ask all the time. I ask this question 100 times a day. Is this about me or is this about him? When I'm coaching people and I'm hearing things that are horrific, I can't understand how they got through it. And I can feel myself becoming emotionally involved. I ask in my head, is this about me or is this about him? And my brain says, it's not about me. And I let it go. And now I can listen. I've separated myself from that person. If you have a negative person in your life, you need to ask this question. Is this about me or is this about her? And when your brain says, it's not about you, and you release. Over 55% of communication is what we see. Over 35% is tone, how we hear it. Less than 5% of communication is the words. So what happens is, if you've been listening to this person all your life and they tell you, oh, you know, it's not going to work and that's a crazy idea and I know people, it hasn't worked, and it's... What happens is, on your face, when you're listening to this, you become deflated and you become powerless. And they realize, oh, look how weak it is. I'm giving them good advice. But what happens is, when you ask, is this about me or is this about her? And you realize, your brain says it's not about me. The muscles in your face will actually change. Your posture changes. How you actually carry yourself will change because your brain realizes it's not about me. You actually take a more relaxed stance. And the person that's telling you, now you can look at them and just listen. It's not about you, it's about mom or dad. He's just worried, she's worried that it's not going to work for me. It's not about me, it's about him. And once you do that, the look on your face actually becomes more confident, more calm, more centered, more balanced. And you have the ability to say, thanks, Dad, that's really good advice. I'll take that into consideration. Stop giving the people around you power they don't even know they have. You're giving it away. Is it about me or is it about him? Is it about me or is it about her? What will happen is you'll start making choices, and some of them will be bad choices and some of them will be good choices, and that's the lesson in life. You don't have growth without lessons. So I want this to be your mantra. I want you to use it all the time. When your partner comes in the house and they've had a bad day and they're slamming drawers and they're huffing and puffing, don't get all defensive and worried, because remember, if you're all worried that you're going to get caught up in the conflict, your face shows it, your posture shows it, the tone of your voice shows it. You know, you walk up and you say, well, what's the matter, honey? Have you had a bad day? Well, what they see is somebody who's already ready for conflict, and that sets them off even more. And pretty soon you're having an argument. You're saying things like, Well, it's not my fault you had a bad day. Don't do that. When somebody comes in, they're having a bad day. Ask the question in your head. Keep your mouth closed and ask yourself, is this about me or is this about him? And your brain's going to say, it's not about me. And now you can walk up because your posture's changed. Your expression on your face has changed. Now you can walk up and you can say, honey, are you okay? What's going on? You have a bad day? Now they're being taken care of. And when you do that, you're going to watch them calm down. Let them talk. Let them rant. It's not about you. Quit making things about you that aren't, and quit giving power to people who don't know they have it. So I want you to practice that. And if you like what I've said, please don't hesitate to like me. And if you've got any messages or suggestions, or if you've done this and it's worked, please let me know. And I'll continue along this vein in the future. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Seann, Vancouver, Behavioral Self-Awareness Coach. Take care.